Most people collect success. They frame their achievements, share their victories, and celebrate their wins. But one man decided to collect something very different. He collected failures. From a young age, he always seemed to stumble. In sports, the ball never went where he wanted. In school, his grades were always below average. As an adult, things didn't improve. Every small business he started collapsed. Every job interview ended in rejection. Every relationship seemed to fall apart. People around him whispered the same word, failure. And slowly, he began to believe it. The label cut deep. It wasn't just about what he did, it became who he thought he was. But one day, he made a strange decision. If I can't collect success, he thought, then maybe I'll collect failures instead. He pulled out a small notebook. On the very first page, he wrote what had gone wrong that day. How he stuttered during an interview. How he forgot an important appointment. How 3 different people rejected him. To his surprise, writing them down made him feel lighter. The failures no longer crushed him. On paper, they were just lines of ink, not a definition of who he was. Day after day, he continued. One notebook filled up, then another and another. And something unexpected happened. He began to see patterns. He noticed that he stumbled in interviews because he wasn't preparing enough. He realized that rejections weren't all the same. Some people had actually started responding more positively. The more he wrote, the more he learned. Failure stopped being shame. It became his teacher. The fear that had once controlled him started to fade. Each page gave him a little more distance, a little more clarity, a little more courage to try again. Years passed. His desk was now stacked with dozens of thick notebooks. Each one was filled not with triumphs, but with failures. But ironically, those failures were the proof of something greater, that he had grown more than anyone realized. People began to notice a change. He was no longer timid. He no longer hesitated to try. His confidence and persistence looked completely different from the man he once was. People asked, "How did you change? What's your secret?" And he simply smiled. "I didn't collect success. I collected failures, and they built me." What can we learn from the man who collected failures? Write it down, because when you record your failures, you see facts instead of just emotions. Find patterns, because repeated mistakes often hold the clues to growth. Shrink fear, because the more failures you face, the less power they have. Turn failures into assets, because every failure is not wasted. It is a seed for future success. Most people only celebrate their successes, but true courage comes from facing your failures head on. That man collected failures, and in the end, it was those very failures that led him to real success. So if you feel crushed by your mistakes today, try writing them down. One day, you might look back and see what he saw. That failure is not the end. It is the beginning of your greatest asset.